Hi all, welcome back to the screencast. In this video, we'll be check as we did with HTML code. What we'll be doing is we'll be packaging the code, so we don't have to write everything in one file. So let's start by doing that. So if you see, the last 64 lines are all handlers and we call them views. So what we'll be doing is we'll be moving that code into the views.go file of views package. I have already created this folder and you can see we have this function. This is not a valid go program, valid go package as yet. I need to do that. Then I need HTML template and I need OS. Yeah, and I need FMT. When we run this code, we'll come across errors and we'll fix them accordingly if we missed anything here. One thing we have to do is we have to also import this task thing. Usually that goes into models, which in our structure would be the database related code, but we'll be adding that into types package, which contains all the custom defined types which we are going to use. Now what we can do, I can delete everything. Okay, so I deleted everything below the main, and yeah, so what we need to do now, we need to move these two lines. So that is line number 11 and tail of 2. These two, and we have to append it to views, so we don't accidentally override it. So let's check. Since we are using git, so we can always go back if something is screwed up. It pays to understand in understanding how to use Vim. Vim is an extremely powerful editor which I don't think has any match out there, because it is very productive to write code in Vue if Vim, if I mean we are actually understanding how to use the features which we have been provided to us. The last part that we need to do is starting from line number 30, 20 lines should go to types. I'll close this. Okay, 21. Yeah, 21. They go to types and types.go. We don't need any extra declaration over here. Okay, so import. Yes, we do. I'm lazy, so what I'll do, I'll delete and I'll paste this code so I don't have to make these changes again. Okay, so we have it over here. So hopefully this should work. Now what we'll do is 20dd. Okay. Since we just are going to use the views in this function, in this code, we'll have to import them. And I have to prepend every call to views dot. And one more thing, this call is going to return an error which we are not caring about right now. Okay, cool. Later, what we'll be doing is we'll be wrapping this up in a log.featalf function. So it will print in the timestamp as well. So we don't have to manually check the errors. But as of now, this shall work. Okay. So what we did now was, okay, so one thing about packages, there are few tutorials out there on the internet which encourage having packages directly on the go path, but I actively discourage against it. So my go path, our go path consists of bin src and package. When I go to src, I have a lot of folders, and the thing is, if I create a package over here, like let's say types, so I would be able to import it like a normal standard library package, because the package resolution always is first done on the standard library and then it starts scanning the src folder of your go path. But the problem here is that when I want to publish this application and I use import types, it will work on my machine, but it won't work on somebody else's machine where they have not used these types inside the src folder. So that is why I actively discourage against that, and we should always use the convention like what we use in Java, where we have the domain name related packages. So it is simple to distribute our application. So if I push this code, and when I push this code to any version control system on the cloud, you will be just able to go get it. And the reason why you'll be able to go get it is that I have used this large package name. And please don't use that the package name inside src unless you are extremely certain that you will be the only person working on it. Then it is probably fine, but even then it is a very very bad way of writing code. And since go is a well thought language, we should avoid writing bad code inside go. I mean, especially inside go, we should not write bad code ever. So I'm sure there will be something wrong, so let's just run it and see. Okay, fine. So there is no HTTP response. Great. We forgot the most important aspect of all. Okay. Sorry. What is comments? That is bad. I did a mistake. So let me just rectify it. Okay, now we need to define it in the types itself. We don't need this as var, we need this as type. So type comments and type tasks. Cool. The error was that we did not have this comments defined, which we are using over here. So what I'll do now, I go to as a safe side, I'll just declare it over here. I could have just declared the comments as well. Yeah, I have comments and tasks types created. So I created a variable comment and task. So let's check if this works. We have, okay. Oh, sorry, we have to use types dot. We can avoid all this hassle if we use this, but I'm not going to. Sorry, not here. Here. It allows us to use everything that is present in types and is exported without using the prefix, but I'll not use it. We'll use it while using databases. Oh, great. Okay, so great. So we have reduced all the errors to the main.go file, and since we can't have unused imports, we have to unfortunately delete these. I don't even have an OS. So it gave me exactly one HTML template and OS. So two ones, and we are good to go. Great. So let me just check it. Okay, so one another thing, I was playing with this function, and since we are directly appending everything, what will happen is when this server is running, how many times you execute this completed method, that many exponential times your tasks are going to be present on your page. The reason behind that is the tasks object and the context object is going to be appended by the tasks all the time, each time you refresh the page. So if you refresh it 10 times, you'll have 30 tasks. So let me refresh the page and we have 3 tasks as we expected. So I went to pending right now, and you can see that I have twice the number of tasks currently. This hassle is not present when we go to using databases, because for each instance we won't be using a shared object. Okay, so we can even do that now. We can remove the shared object in our views. Okay, so what I can do is, but yeah, we'll be using the databases anyway, so it doesn't matter what we do. Okay, so let's just do that. You can see that we are using these tasks, right? So the tasks is defined over here, and each call is going to replace that task. So what I can do here is, I'm not sure if this will work. Oh, it doesn't. It was simpler that way. Okay, so what I'll do rather than doing that, I'll just define these tasks inside the functions. So even if we have duplicate tasks, we won't have duplicate values. So if I now refresh it 10 times, it is only going to give me 3 elements. And I went to the completed page and I refreshed it. Okay, so what we learned was in this video is packages and the formatting for packages. The code formatting should be done in this way. The first starting pack, sorry, uh, the starting packages should be the standard library ones. Then you should have the third party libraries which you have used, and after that you should have your own private libraries, and they should be separated with a blank space. Since I'm not using any third party library, I do not have any. We didn't do anything to the templates. Okay, so this is the types package, and the thing here is that I can replace this comment part totally and this task part, but I'm not, because there is no point in it. And the last part is views. So I'll just comment on this template variable. So anytime this program will run, this templates will be shared variable across this complete package called views. And whenever we import that package in this any code rather, we'll be having access to these two variables. So we need to create that variable and initialize it only once, which we do in this line, we use.populate template, and we safely have that variable in our package with no risk of it getting corrupted by another call or something like that, because only we are having access to this populate template method. Okay, so one more thing, one optimization that we can do over here is, instead of making this method as this function as exported, I can do, I can create an init function which are constructors of a package. Init is a special function inside any Go program where it is executed first during the actual execution in the runtime. So if I have, I can completely remove this populate templates method, and I can add all this logic into this init function, and I can remove this populate template call from this main function as well. But that would be an optimization, and that would prohibit us from letting anybody access that populate template method. Uh, as usual, we are not going to do that in this video, but you're free to using init for populating your templates. I certainly do not see any harm in it, but then again, it is personal choice. So in this video, we saw how to break code into packages. This is an unusual way of handling packages actually, that we have types and we have views. Normally people go with MVC architecture, but I'm not I'm not basically very inclined to using that architecture. The reason behind that is, say you start writing a client side code which interacts with your server. So what you'll have to do is you have to write Go code which will send HTTP requests to your server. There you do need to import types which are comments and tasks and the context and stuff like that to make sense of the result that you'll get. So in that case, for sending data, you do need access to types, and if you go by the standard convention, you'll have to rename this types package to database and use write all the database code inside it. So I usually avoid it, but then it is up to you what to do. It is always better to try something out and come to an informed decision rather than following the norm, because that is how generally people do it, because that leaves the implementation down to us, because we are ultimately responsible for our code. So that was it for this video. This code is available on GitHub on my profile, and the project name is task-new. So thank you for watching this video, and please stay tuned for the next ones.